So I've been meaning to do this test, but I saw J Kenji Lopez just did it, and it's the whole Gordon Ramsay, should you salt eggs before or after or during? So we have 2 eggs. We're going to do 3 different styles here. We're going to salt them before they go in the pan, right when they go in the pan and they're still wet, and then at the very end, and we're going to see taste difference and just overall differences. We're going to use 1.5 grams of salt on each. I know that's more than you would ever want on an egg, but I'm trying to overdo it a little bit to really show the contrasting differences between this. But we're going to do everything the same. We're going to use 1 small spoon worth of oil. You could use whatever amount you want. Just keep it consistent. Here is the adding the salt before cooking. You can see almost immediately the color is different. Kenji Lopez explained that that's due to the proteins breaking down, but I'm trying to be less scientific about this. But let's just cook them. We're going to cook them each to the same level, not a set time, but each one is about 45 seconds. And we're going to cook them to the same level of doneness and then taste and look and see what the differences are. At that point, we could hopefully make a better assessment of whether it is true or not to salt your eggs at the end, which is the Gordon Ramsay most chef method that Kenji disagrees with. So here's the next batch of eggs. We're going to wait till they just start to form into little clumps, and now we're going to add that salt in, mix that up. And again, trust me, this is more salt than you need, but I'm trying to overdo it to really show the differences. Don't use 1.5 grams of salt on 2 eggs. It's very salty. Cook to the same point here. Now we're going to go the last one. We're going to cook these to the point of basically being fully done and then add the salt as if you just came in at the end and finished it with a little bit of seasoning. Everyone had the same amount of oil. Everyone's had the same amount of cook time, basically. And now we just threw in a little bit of salt there at the end. And now these are all done. 3 drastically different salting periods. And let's dive into them. Off the initial impressions, looks-wise, I feel like the pre-salted looks a little different, but all 3 are all holding their moisture the same amount. Kenji saw that some leached more. But taste-wise, let's find out. From what I can tell going in this order, the ones where you added the salt at the very beginning, well, first off, Gordon Ramsay says that they should look gray. They don't. But what I found here is that the eggs that had the salt mixed in tasted the most balanced. They all had the same amount of salt, but those ones from the very beginning tasted the least salty. The other ones, the salt is way more forward on your palate and on the taste. So I think adding your salt into the eggs in the beginning is the best way.